same space. The reason behind is that we all got work to do. So what I try to do is I use a video recorder to record the presentation I have so that other staff can review it. I will upload into YouTube. That's what I used to do before, even before I joined SD. Because to communicate to a large group of people, it takes a lot of effort to coordinate. So the simplest way of doing is, I want to use this sort of media so that more people will understand. So by doing that, I can share the type of work where going forward next year, where I should be going, and also at the same time, you all understand where we're going to head. So for this particular presentation, I just want to bring you through some of the thinking process and why I decide to do forward next year. Why? I have a rationalization. So this to help you understand the going forward for next year. Okay, big picture for AV development. That means that I compile the information, what the whole world is talking about autonomous vehicle. So when we look, we don't just look at autonomous vehicle we do in ST, but we must look at what other countries are doing, which I think some of you are aware. Now, this is the part very interesting for you to understand. This is from a report from Brookings. For the past 5 years, cumulative, US $80 billion are invested in autonomous technology by different. This is only some of the companies, but this is what is reported. I'm sure some are not reported, but the reported one in total is 80 billion US. And if you think about it, after spending 18 billion since 2014, why is it autonomous cars and buses are not running on public roads in the world? At the same time, companies are still doing trials, POV, test bidding. It's just like us, we also do the same, correct? But you look at other countries, also the same, you know. So the problem is not autonomous vehicle. These companies are now are under pressure to bring in sales and profit. If you buy shares of a company, he says, I spend how much. You as a shareholder invest in the company and say, hey, I put dividends where you keep telling me so good. When are you going to sell your first autonomous car? I tell you, they also don't have answer. The big company, not just us. You can check inside there. I have this is a website related to this information. Next one, Google. Google started autonomous vehicle in 2009. Okay, 10 years ago. And they're still operating, on set. So in a sense, Google car now turned to Waymo. And recently, this news came on the table because Google now is a holding company called Alphabet. They admit that Google has overhyped driving cars. That means that they have told them, wow, can go driverless, but I don't know when. They know it cannot be done. And it's public news. I have posted some of the information on the KXR family. So, you think about it. That means that because you are Google, you can say anything you want, people will believe you, correct? Because you're Google, man. The reality is not. So some of you read news, fake news. Google also got fake news, themselves. So this is actually fake news. He say hype, actually it's fake news. It's a legal word of saying actually it's fake news. Okay? But for you, because you search Google, you trust them. In reality, they also struggle. Now, let's break down into sector. Some of these companies, you see, they do AV development, how many million. Everybody has the same problem. They throw so much money on the table, but you do not see autonomous cars running. All are truck. No large scale, no 1 million cars along there. You see 10 cars, 20 cars, 100 cars. The biggest one is Waymo, still got 100 cars running in one town somewhere. But 100 cars is nothing to them. In a global business, 100 cars is nothing. Okay? But it's still truck. Okay? Now, where are our problems? So because even though we do it in ST, you're part of it, we are still doing trials. And where are all the real challenges we face today? This is the part I try to explain to you what it means. In autonomous vehicle, it's expected to operate in the same road designed for humans. That means that what the roads we have, we put our bus in, we put our car there just to drive around. And we expect the computer program, computer system, we have sensors, is to replace a human driver with the same performance, same responsiveness, same situation awareness. Our roads are designed for human drivers, not designed for computers. Now, in a human driver, so I show you, this is what we drive and we look at 40 kilometers our sign. We are expected to move into there, use a computer, and for me, if you take computer vision to look at 40, you need two stages, capturing, OCR, and then respond. If you want to have accurate, you use QR code. We use QR code today for payment, correct? Why? It cannot be that people are so stupid to use QR code when you can write $80, correct? Or company name, correct? Use QR code. Why? Because it's easy for computer vision to recognize QR code than this. The accuracy of using QR code is actually higher than OCR. Now, why our roads, if you want to do autonomous, we must have QR code. But QR code you put in, the human driver cannot understand. So the human driver do this. So you see, we are going to the boundary of challenges that the existing roads today are designed for you and me. But now when you expect the computer to take over, we are expecting the computer to behave like humans. I tell you, in your lifetime, it will never happen. In a very close environment, yes. But in a very real situation, it's not possible yet. Because you need computing power, sensors, all that come into play. Are you aware our eyes actually has a higher resolution than any camera you can find in the market? We can handle wider range of dynamics. Okay. Now, if you look at today, if you look at new innovation for what we do, this is a typical information I present for when you do something very, very new. The first thing, you have to cross functionality. Functionality means, can it work? If it doesn't work, don't discuss about anything else. So once you get it to work, the next thing you are discussing is performance. How fast is it? Okay, how fast is it? Is it shorter latency time? Then after you cross it, is it reliable? After you cross the reliability, is it convenient to use? Then you have the request, hey, why so expensive? So if you start on innovating something very, very new, the problem is most people start functionality. Why they start functionality? Because you are trained as engineers from your university school just to get your project going. Of course, just to pass exam, I just get it to work. Your university project never teach you to do performance one and reliability. Because your project in your school give you 3 months how to test reliability. So when you come out from school, you think that, oh, finally also I do really, wow, can work. Sorry, you need to cross all of them. So when you come out straight from school, this I expect you to do. But this one, you will struggle. Why? It's not because you're not capable. It's because you're not exposed to it. Because you think that doing a functionality, I've done my job. No. You got to cross performance. How accurate is it? That's why some of you have discussed with me much earlier. I asked a question, what's your test plan? It's not by accident. Then I asked, did you do a load test? Do you do a latency test? Because all this comes into here. It's not by accident. Because if you haven't walked through this, you do this, you say your project is finished. Actually, it's not. It's only one first step. It has many steps to go through. This is summarized inside here so that you understand why I say what I say. And when you do it, you need to talk about suitable operating condition for us. That means that mixed environment. No need to copy, I give you a slide. And you work with eco partners in every country. So when you go to every country, we have partners there who can help us in other things. We can't do it alone. It's impossible. No one person can handle everything. Even we as ST, you go to Japan, they all speak Japanese. What are you going to do? You have to work with partners. Don't think we can just do it on our own. So you must expect to work with people who don't understand. So you're going to start building relationship and educating them. Next one, maturity of ecosystem drives overall that. That means that when you work with ecosystem partners, are they experienced? If they're not experienced enough, then you have to build them up to the experience. Or you do it on your own. But you do it, it's going to be expensive. So you always have this dilemma. You have to bring your partners up to a certain level, then you can do. But sometimes when you work with partners, you also realize you also don't have skill. You better learn from them. So it becomes a two-way process. Then we have to track sensor development. Because for autonomous system, sensor is key. But for us, to build sensor, forget about it. Our volume is too low. How many autonomous bus do you think we can make a year? Lian, what do you think? What's your 10 years down the road, you think we'll make how many buses? 1,000? No. People make millions one, so you have to follow them. We cannot get involved to make sensor. We have to track. Because these are the guys who will build the volume, not us. But we keep a watch for it. Now, for us, you see we are going level 3. We are going from level 3, which is Navia, and we are climbing up to level 4, then level 5. So that's our great ambition. So when I came in, I saw we are approaching level 4, correct? And we aim, ambition to go level 5. But if we can go level 4, I decided that, hey guys, no need level 4. If Navia can sell, I can sell. So I come down to do level 3.5. While the technology is going up, but you sell this part. You don't sell what you don't have, you sell what you have. Okay, so the strategy is always, when you sell to a customer, you charge him money, he expects performance, and he expects reliability, correct? So you don't sell something you haven't done, you haven't tested. So you bring it to a certain maturity, then you start selling. Of course, you will still get problem, but you have less problem to manage than you try to sell level 4, which you haven't done. So I bring it down to level 3.5, just to play safe. And why I decide, so that I don't put pressure on the team. The worst thing, as a person who do the business part to sell, I go and sell level 4. Okay, what level 4? You will say level 4 to me, and then you say yes. Then when I start to sell, all the problem comes up. What do you think? My boss will jump at me, correct? Hey, customer complain, all that. So it becomes a problem you create for yourself to solve. So I play the other way around. We are going for level 4, I just scale down, level 3.5. If we can do level 4, we can do level 3.5. So that is to make sure reputation is protected. Even though some people tell me, we can do, I said no, draw the line. Because then it's not pressure on any of you. I minimize the problem. Okay? Not that you don't have the capability. The problem is that, is it supportable? Okay? It's not about selling it first time. Can you do it again and again and again? Repeatable process. If you cannot repeat, if I make the first vehicle work, can I make second vehicle work? Third vehicle work? First vehicle, you put in love and attention to get it to work. It will sure work one. It's just like final year student project in the university. You put so much attention to it, you will sure work one. But if I put again and again and again, is it consistent? If it's not consistent, you're not ready. Okay? It's a prototype still. Okay? So that's why I said it's important you know that when you move forward, the rules of the game will change. And we have to work with our existing ecosystem. So, some of you who knows Moore's law, if you look at Moore's law, it's driving it at the point, the number of density of transistor in the IC is double every 2 years. And because of that, we have GPUs, AI are coming in. But we are not a large volume user of any of these components. We will always follow. We make 100, already called big already. Okay, I'll give you an example. In ST, what's the largest amount of military vehicle we have made in ST? You know that? I do not know. What's the volume you got? Lian?
Bongo is the biggest rate.
How many?
600 plus.
600 plus. In a global business, 600 is nothing. Okay? You go and see, you say, we went to see DSA. We were talking to them, hey, about your sensor, you know how many you want? I think we said 100. The guy says, sorry, we produce 100,000 a month. So you go in and different ticket. So don't go and chase things. We don't have advantage because that's not your. If today we are making 100,000 Bronco a month, we go there at bank table, they will show, yeah, okay. But we are not in that position. So you must know what is the strength you have, what is the weakness. So you must know how to position. It is not going through the concept, say, I must have the best. Because the best, you are not in the position to be in front. You have to follow. Okay? So in the AV business, I just run through. I will make the slides available, so you don't have to worry about it. This is a market intelligence report from, I think, Oliver Wyman. If you look at the revenue for AV, for the autonomous vehicle, for the ground vehicle, that means that actually it's passenger car. This is a big chunk, air is less. That means that it's a 4 wheels on the computer. Is this piece, which is actually 22%. But the money, or the 78% come from MRO, fleet management, traffic services. So you see, this is the biggest money. So for every $100 you earn, $22 is actually for the vehicle. You earn more money from services on top of the AV. So that means that if you concentrate on the AV, you are missing this portion. That's why when we work with wheelers, they actually focus this. They know. We focus on this. I give you a computer on 4 wheels. Now, that means that we are good, but you are not making money out of it. You are working for people. Okay? So this is why it's important for you as engineers. You must understand you are making this part. But I have to ask you, some of you have to look, in fact, some of you are really like ABMS or is looking at this with these services like testing, all come to here. Of course, the vehicle is important. Without this, you can't make money from that. Okay? Because if there's no vehicle, you got no this. This is a prerequisite. I'm not saying it's no. It's a prerequisite. But once you get this, you have to take this also. Or else other people make money, you do all the work. There are two things. You work smart or you work hard. Okay? I prefer to have both. Okay? So, what are the challenges when we scale our AV going, overseas or locally, even for the CMC? The first thing is regulation. If the government says, or the mayor says, the country says, sorry you cannot run this place, you're done. Next one, standards. Standards in the sense of what is the standards available for autonomous vehicle. But this is only talking vehicle. Infrastructure also have. So standard means compatibility. I remove your car, I put another vehicle, must run from another supplier. If you say you're the only one, they're very scared. Because then you're the single supplier. People don't like that. Next one, safety and reliability. If there's one accident, the whole thing dies. If it breaks down every time, and it works once a week, you also die. Insurance. Who is going to insure the AV when you roll out? Because when you hit somebody, somebody will sue you. Then you have insurance to protect yourself. But is the insurance company willing to take the risk if you didn't do a proper job? Because if I don't have insurance, you can buy the vehicle, you put it, but nobody wants to insure. You also cannot run. So this is going to the real world already. And then public acceptability. How is public perceive what you do? Because you will be riding it every day. You have the aunties, grandmother, parents putting their children onto AV. Then if you have kids going to school, the AV come in front of you, would you let your children go on the AV to bring them to the school? You also have worry about that, correct? Because it's not just you, and even you are knowledgeable, you might say yes, but you imagine a person who doesn't even know what is an AV. You say no, just take another taxi, bus, go like, don't go and take right or these sort of issues will come. Social, political in the sense of Trade union lose job because when they see an autonomous vehicle come, the guy who is a bus driver is very worried he lose his job. So he will put in no good one risky because he's protecting his job. Okay? But in Japan, there was no such issue because they're really short on drivers. After expand, I'll tell you the story. Next one, all weather condition. If you look at all the autonomous vehicle video, they show you nice weather, sunny, you will run one. You try to put in snow and rain and see. No, you go and look at Tesla, you go and see Waymo. All the video is very nice one. Sui one. Why? It's because under those conditions you will sure run. It's the same as us. Under those conditions you also run, and you know that hours when it rain, we all say ooh like that. Yes, it's correct. Nothing wrong. So we look at us and say, hey, people ask, why is it on rain it cannot run? So we become very agitated. Actually, it's not true. You shouldn't be like that. Hey, even Waymo spending so much money also cannot do that. So why you want to bother? So that's why you don't want to be the best. Just follow other people. Let them clear the road for you. Infrastructure, charging, and also we need a system. Is not about one component technology for EV. So there are major deployments now, requirements, challenges, which are outside the bus. That means that you take a computer on 4 wheels, you can do it. But now to deploy, you have the other things is outside really coming into play. Okay, so don't be agitated or look at it negative. No, it's part of growing up to understand when you scale, these are the things will come. So, if you imagine we have level 3.5 bus, we have to go into a business to scale it up. You have to cross the first bridge. Okay? First bridge you cross. Then after that, you need every bridge to go for level 5. Regulation, all this. So you imagine that when you cross, it's a lot of hurdles. And for those which have been dealing with the regulation, like guys like Ken, Sebastian, and Don, when you engage, you see all these problems are all coming. But because for the guys who deal with the bus, they don't see this. So when you cross everything, for guys who do the technology, you will look at this as problem. You say, hey, after I finish, why we are not deploying yet? But these are the problems your other colleagues are actually addressing, and it's not simple issue. Because you are not in control. You have to depend on this person, and this person going to depend on this. So that's why it's slow because of that. But for us, I look at that is that if it is level 5, let's go for level 4. Then I might remove all this. I only focus on this. So while you're level 4, you give it to me. I still got to cross all this in level 4, So it's not yourself. As I said, you take this, you will sure run. But you will run just around like that. Then what I'm going to do? Because I need to do it into here. So there are plenty of opportunities for you all if you decide to grow out from the space to be job rotated out. Now, the problem is most of the time, if you're very comfortable in what you do, you actually don't learn new things. So what I'm going to share with you is actually what we have been doing. Some of you is here on the Pigeonhole. You are very critical about yourself. Actually, what we are doing as a team, you are not aware of what you're doing as a strategy. Not in the technology, but the approach. It's the right approach. You go and check on the internet, minimum viable product. We're actually taking this stage. If you look at autonomous vehicle, we're not doing this. We're actually using this. The first level, you build a wheel, you build a carriage, then you put casing. Level, slowly you build up. We are taking this as a mobility. You improve from skateboard, PMD, bicycle, motorcycle, and it moves like that. Why? It's because you only find, if you use this method, you only find out it moves only at this stage. But we are actually using this stage. You can improve, you test it out, you improve, you test it out, you improve. So, but if you wait for this, by the time you do this, what happens? You find out here, actually it's a problem here. You got to go back all the way. Here, you can iterate. Okay, so some of you discuss with me on the thing, waterfall approach, whether we should do agile approach. Yes, but those terminologies are very software centric. This is a system approach. It is the same as actually agile, but agile with the hardware, that's the problem. So you need to look at things in the context of beyond what you do, but look at it as a system while you are contributing to one part, but you must see the bigger picture. That's how you learn, because you are not alone. Your component which you have done well actually depends on other component. If that component fail, you also cannot do. But then the easiest thing to do is say, oh, I've done my job. It's the other guy who failed. Actually, it's not true. Because you don't learn how to work as a team, you think that you can move forward, but actually we are all interdependent. You must grow up to understand system design, even though you do software, even though you do hardware, but you must understand system design. Now, our current AV challenges, we need to address, expand the need beyond the computer on four wheels, which interact with the environment. So, if we today take a bus, perfect suspension, perfect everything, perfect road, perfect thing for this, perfect weather, perfect thing, no reckless human, and we do the software, you go out, it will sure run. Any final year university student, you can design using open source and move a buggy in a laboratory. Some of you graduate from university have probably done, a buggy which runs around in a basketball court. Yes, this is for learning. It is correct way of teaching students who don't know autonomous vehicle to develop, because you need to control that so that they learn the right things. But the professors will never include the real life because it's very difficult to teach. Okay, so when they cannot teach real life thing, you have to put in lab. That's why we call it lab experiment. Okay, you go to laboratory, university, is controlled environment. The reality is that that's what we are facing. Operating boundary, roads friendly, sharp corners, traffic rules, and lighting. Other people, other human drivers interact with you. Not you, it's other people. Then we have to take care. Safety, reliable cyber security, and imperfect roads, and so on. Then if you look inside there, you see we talk about driver training. Some of these information actually come from you all. While you're doing the work, I pick it up. Because this is the real part. So when people talk to us about our autonomous vehicle having this and this, because they are going back to look at this. So I say, you want a university student project, I can give it to you very easily. But you want a real one, you have to address this. Okay, so what do you want? I have an advantage over many people who are senior in here. Autonomous vehicle, I was involved in A-Star days back in 2014. So the problems have not changed. A-Star day, I already see this problem, but no solution. So when I come here, I say, okay lah, the problem is not you. The problem is the way we operate in that environment. Okay, so this is one example. Very early when I first came in, I saw this. You have the bus going around. Let's say we take this as a LiDAR. You have the suspension tilting. When it goes around corner, you sure got detection problem. Then, at the same time, you go down and you go up. You have different readings. Because your road terrain is not flat. So as I said, you put in a flat, in a basketball court, sure no problem. But you go to railroads, they're all like that, So, in a sense, we have to understand road behavior, vehicle dynamics. And that's why when I was also involved in discussing with the IEH, because for the group in the KXR, we tend to do it as a software and tend to talk about the bus. But then the bus performance deteriorate over time, the age. Suspension change in time. Your car, even your car, the suspension will change because you put load. Example, the bus has no load, full load go in, the vehicle change. The passenger go in front or the back, also it change. So how you handle those things where it is out of your control, unless you don't put humans up. So that's why I said those things we have to learn how to manage. It's not a unknown problem, it's a known problem. That's why I try to share with you all, because you might look at it as you know, you have so many challenges, is you have to break it down into items, then we can address item by item. So I give people an example. When we design a system, we have to always discuss latency and basically load test. Because when you have any module, whether it's hardware, software, interacting with each other, to make a decision from 1 to 6, you have to discuss is what is basically the capacity of every one. Then you need to know which one is a bottleneck. So that when you expand, you solve this problem. Rather than you buy one for this, buy another one, but the rest is not in the critical path. So that's why in system design, you need to take care of latency and load. That's why a test plan is very important. Like some of you raised the point on, you know, we should have a testing of that. It's correct. But you need the discipline to do it. Okay? It's not one person. We need to open up and discuss how to move forward, because it becomes a bit more regimental. Because if you don't do that, you find out by accident. Right? So when I draw this, actually some of the things I already knew. The way we approach, we didn't do this, but it's no good. It's just that you just have to continue functionality, just by all means, just go ahead first. Because there's no point discussing, because it changed the whole architecture. So I raised this was because it's to share with you that when we go into a bit more professional type of development, we need a lot of other things come into play. It's not means the fastest. You need to make it reliable and performance. Because that part you have not addressed enough yet. But for the moment, it's good enough. So that's why the second phase becomes even much more critical. So I share with you an example where autonomous vehicle cannot solve it. We have road sign. This is our autonomous vehicle at 40. There's an illegal park car there, park van there. And this is zebra crossing. One little girl come. If this little girl run across and it knocks the girl, this illegal park van is only illegal park is only $100. But when you run here, it's blocked. You cannot see the thing behind. So if the AV knock at this girl, it has $1 million insurance. Then this one pay $1 million insurance, but this one is caused by this guy. But this guy say it's only $100 what I pay. This guy pay $1 million. So now these two insurance companies going to fight. How you solve that problem? So this becomes another issue which some of you are not aware. But it will come. So what we were looking at is, I discussed with Dr. Pei's group, is actually we can look at using camera to look down so that we can put a display equivalent to QR code. We haven't done QR code, but for the moment we put display. You can put display and QR code, it's the same. It's a question of changing the format. But the problem is that we put a display, a human driver also can see. Okay? But we can do both. But that is hypothetical, is how we throw out. Or we can replace it to put in DSLC. Also the same, no different. So the technology is not about the display, it's actually about detection. So we can also do is send the data through wireless to a lamppost further ahead, so it gives you a head warning for the autonomous vehicle to slow down. So if you think about it, this by itself cannot solve this problem. When it gets an accident, how you solve this question? So that's why it goes outside the vehicle now. We have to look at other things. We call it infrastructure, roadside sensors and all that. Because if you don't address it, when there's an accident, the whole program will get into problem. So I anticipate it first. You know, we say that, look, we better look at other things because solving just this by itself cannot help you. But we need to look at broader than that now. So that's why today's meeting is to help you all understand we are going beyond the vehicle already. So we have to work together how to develop a system level of AV beyond the AV vehicle itself. Now, then there were discussion about left-hand drive and right-hand drive for us. Left-hand drive and right-hand drive only is valid from now and before level 5. At level 5, there's no car, there's no driver that makes no difference. So between now and there, we need to address right-hand drive and left-hand drive. Now, unless You know, people, if say I want to buy 100 AV bars, okay lah, then I do left-hand drive lah. Then I don't want to do. Okay, because a lot of work. Of course, in Israel, you've been hearing that, so I let Odette go and do the left-hand drive. He said Israel can do, okay, you can do it. Okay, so I just leave it. For us, I just concentrate right-hand drive because the two markets I'm looking at is Japan and, when we go Japan, yeah, here, and Singapore. So if you look at right-hand drive, this is an index for readiness of autonomous vehicle. For the right-hand drive is in green, left-hand drive is in red. So if you look at it, we are already here. There's no point I go left-hand drive, I have to go to the Netherlands. I'm not interested. So I said, okay, United Kingdom, too far away. Then I go for Japan. So when this decision is made, it's not suka-suka throughout. Of course, I like Japanese food, but then inside. So inside there, of course, there will be people who tell me that, wow, left-hand drive market very, very big. You see, in terms of color, right-hand drive is very small only, correct? Green left-hand drive, correct? It looks impressive. People tell me, hey, left-hand drive, huge market in the world. I said, yeah, you want to sell it here? Iceland, this Alaska, Africa, you want to sell? So they don't have the money. So you show me this to argue with me about left-hand drive, right-hand drive is hypothetical, but can your country afford? Maybe you buy one picture, so what? That's not scalable. It's just a little toy which runs around in the university. Yeah, for what? But in the real business world, we should not be interested in that. Okay? So for me, I look at that is, if you look at all the yellow, orange part, there are two parts. That's why in Singapore we are here, and I'm not so keen about this region yet. The reason behind is that they will buy prototype, I will sell prototype. They want to have 3 months trial, like Don go to Indonesia 3 months trial, fine, that one is okay. But to go to that country and build up, to go inland from the beach, you land and to go up, is a hell of an investment. So that's why Japan is interesting, Singapore, and then the next one is coming is Australia. So the rest is you put money and I do lah. So it's more like that one. So it's not that we don't have work. We have to be very focused and deliberate, because the amount once you go in, you have to keep going up already. So my concern is everybody, people will tell you, oh, I got big market, I got big market. Who will come and tell me to say that when he wants to go to India, the market is small? You will tell me very big. But I ask you a question, if you have seen the drivers in India, you don't even want to go in. Because the car can move. Those guys in India cannot, I send you there to take charge. they wouldn't want to go. Because it's not suitable. So we need to be very realistic. It's not about the vehicle, it's about where it can go in, it can work. Okay? So I don't want you all to fail. You see, my priority is to protect your sanity, so you don't wear your shit out. There are two choices. As a boss, I let you all do, then got problem, become your problem, right? No, I don't work like that. Your problem is my problem. Because at the same time, each of you, I do not want to stretch you all to the extent you fail. Not necessary to do it like that. I have to protect you all so that you got time to build up your capability. Current status, this is what we are doing. Some of you know what we are doing for wheelers and Sentosa, sorry, here. So I show you one part, which is very interesting. You see how wheelers do it, it's very different from us. This is in the store. You see how they do at night? Engineers will not do that. I'm just telling you. Engineers will look at 4 wheels, car, beige color. People love it in Garden by the Bay. So in Sentosa, in Garden by the Bay, I share with you in Garden by the Bay, when the last week when we launched, the CEO of Garden by the Bay is having 12 million visitors in Garden by the Bay. And then we talked to him, how can we help you? He says that my next target is 15 million per year for ridership. I have to increase from 12 million to 15 million. That's his KPI. So I said, why don't we work together? So he tell me, actually, can your Navia go slower? You see, we want to say faster. If you go slower, you get scolding from critical. Say, why so slow, right? But he wants it slower because when you take tourists to ride on the place at night, you see nice pictures. So you want slower to do that. So they can charge more money lah, take more time. But for us, slower also better, correct? Buy more vehicle, correct? Then he says, can you, after 7 o'clock, can you go 12 or not? Because he asked us a question, of course, we all can go 12 anytime, vehicle, just nobody want to program only, correct? It's better charging. So he said, can. So in a sense, this is the value part. We as engineers tend to look at cost. We create value for him to increase his business. So when he increases his business, he helps us to buy more vehicle, everybody happier. So for Japan, this was discussed in Japan. Private side, preset, public, on demand. So they talk to us, is actually this one. Phase 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So we haven't gone to this yet, but we're actually looking at this. So they are looking at this period for the Navia. Okay. Second phase, 2.1, 2.2. Phase 3, they actually want to have a co-design with us. And this is Wheeler, and Wheeler's is working with Mitsui, who is a very big, company. So that when we go to Japan, we will partner with them. And you see, for them, they are looking at this sort of quantity. But they will leave the whole engine for us. They concentrate on they are a PTO. That means that they're actually a transport operator. So when we work with Wheelers, they have big ambition. It's also good for us. But as I said, we start with Navia because it's the most matured among all what we do. And Navia can scale and scale one. Of course, it's not perfect on every situation, but we manage it. And we should use the Navia actually to learn how they operate and how they do it. And then we improve that for our 7-meter and 12-meter bus. Today, you see the way we work. The Navia group do on its own. The 7-meter bus go on its own. The 12-meter bus go on its own, correct? If you look, we say this is theirs, this is theirs. But in reality, you can learn from across each other. And there's a knowledge transfer between them. But why people behave like that? Is because we don't think big, we look small. We just look inside. We never look across. So the learning knowledge transfer between groups must happen. If it doesn't happen, it's wasted opportunity. So for engineers who don't open their mind, they will never grow. And you should not complain there's no opportunity. That's because you don't look for opportunity. It's not your boss' fault, you know. You cannot, if you cannot see whose fault. I show you the thing. I bring it on the table, but you refuse to see. I cannot help you. So I try to open doors for all. And all this opportunity, you must also look at that as an opportunity for yourself to grow up. So it's not just your boss. We basically gives you an upfront potential. It can come. Of course, some things will not work. We also don't know. We must go forward, but we have to try. So for the AV bus, I simplify the form. 7-meter Yinglong, we will do up to here for the moment, because the bus has finished, almost coming to an end for that. But we will still want to try, if we can, go on POC, things like that. But this is a Yinglong platform. BYD version 1 software, we don't want to change the software, try to port everything across, and go for the CFC first. Okay? The next one is a version 2 software. Some of you raised the question, version 2 software when it's coming. It's actually preparation for this, but you have the preparation must start earlier. So, as I said, we sell what we have, we don't sell what we don't have. So here, we already have. This one, we still have to do, because this is a BYD platform. So at this point, can. But before that, no. Okay, here, no yet. Then, for the 12-meter bus, we have to wait until we finish our thing, then we should consider this. Because the time when the CFC came, this was not ready. So I have to start somewhere already. Now, the most matured is the Navia, so we have many things from here. So for this will still continue the development, and then we start to look at the sales. Because over here, the 12-meter bus, you can see that we are still ongoing the development. You cannot sell if it's ongoing development, because you could have a lot of support costs. Okay, so this is in the terms of big picture. But this big picture have not cascaded down to a group to talk to you as a brainstorming session with some of you. How are we going to do this? Carry on the 12-meter bus. Today, the 12-meter bus will be still going to the Jurong Island, but we need to catch up and then learn to improve on there so that we can run much better to go to the next stage. So this all will stop. But when you stop, doesn't mean it's an end. We're also looking at can we carry on in Sentosa. So there are a few discussions still ongoing. It's not solid because this is a development stage. This is the most matured. So I use Navia first to go in to any country, because if there's a problem, Navia will support us. But once Navia goes in, I can move the 7-meter go in, and later the 12-meter to go in, because I built the bridge already. Okay, so the strategy is taking 2 steps approach. First, let Navia go in first. Now, in terms of timeline, this is CFC timeline. Inside here, we have an R&D tranche and a deployment tranche. So the first one is a demo tranche to put more capability on the existing Ying Long bus, and we will run it basically to prepare us for the second. The second tranche is using the BYD version, the version 1 and then go to version 2. So this part, I have not cascaded down to your first, because this is ongoing and we are in the tendering stage of the discussion for the CFC. We haven't been awarded. We think that by first quarter next year, you will be awarded, and it's a 7-year project. Okay, so we will use it for R&D and we will plug in technology. So in a sense, it has a longer life. But mind you, I'm not selling based on this. When it's ready, I really go out already. Okay, so it doesn't mean I have to come to here. Once it's ready, after we just go already. And this part, I use it to test technology. One, if the market can accept this, I go out and do already. You don't wait for this. I tell you, in doing business, that's the most stupid. You work on a fixed timeline. In business, you don't wait. When it comes, you just go already. So you have 2 fronts. One is an R&D and validation process, which the whole validation done. Behind, I never draw because this is for CFC. When it's ready, I go already. So it's not a static game. It's a dynamic game one. Okay. Now, in the CFC, if you look, sanitize, mixed traffic, we need to do all this. Okay. Some of you are involved. Some of you, we work with other partners. Because in working with others, you also learn other things from them. So in the whole stack of development, all this for operationalizing it. This for the AV vehicle by itself. This one going to the partners on top. So there you can learn other things also beyond this. So for some of you, where I see that you ask the question, oh, MODV, stop, what do I do? We have version 2 software, we got all this to do. So you are, the questions you raise, I'm very happy you all raised, because you asked me, say, oh, what do we do after our MODV? I said, I got plenty of things, though. And these are exciting things for you to try, but you have to get out of your comfort zone. If you don't get out of your comfort zone, you only learn what you already know. It won't help you very much. Learn what you don't know. Okay? That's how you increase your personal value and you can help the company and your team. So I finish at this point. So I now invite questions, please. Wow, 45 minutes. Still early. Okay, guys, I'm a public speaker, so you don't have to worry, I can talk. Okay. So I will try to answer some of the questions. Okay. So if you look at Okay, never mind. So with more staff, blah 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 coming in, are they supposed to charge? And PUB coming in can load our project. Answer is yes and no. Because if you look inside there, if it's coming to an end of the PUB, what do I do with the people? But you look at the other side, CFC all coming. We can start discussing this. You see, I don't want, you see, at the time where we are running POV in Sentosa, and then we are running, our ITS last week was so thick. If I start discussing, hey, after this, can we say, hey, boss, this one have to finish, you start loading me already. I do not want to put you on unnecessary stress. It's not that it's very stupid for me. As a person in charge, it's very stupid. Because I'm not sensitive to our priority. The priority for ITS, go ITS first, don't discuss all these things. Now ITS over, can discuss. I mean, it makes more sense like that, correct? What's the point? I mean, maybe some of you are available for this, but I said, no. We discuss as a team. So if you are ready, but your team member not ready, there's no point. So what I do is, I address this. We will load not everything on the AV job. And some of you ask this question, interesting question. I'm working on the subsystem. We will charge other thing, we will charge to AV12. Okay. It's a valid question, but the question is asked in a different way. Today, when I develop autonomous capability for computer vision, for the AV12, but this computer vision, I can use it for other projects. Should it be autonomous vehicle 12 loading everything, or it should be loaded at a horizontal where it has multiple use? So then you are loading to the one project which carries the initial development. Also got problem. Because then the project gets floated out. So you must load it to a project where it's a horizontal. In fact, this was the same discussion I have with a few senior guys, that for the bus for going into the defense, certain technologies, if it's going to be used for three sites, maybe we share for 3 sites rather than the one. It's the same. It's going to be used the same module, going to be used in multiple vehicles. Then say why you want to load into one. Then you factor up. Then you use the project, the money specific for that, to be very specific to the project. So this part of money decision making should not be the engineer's headache. It should not be a problem. Okay, so this part must be addressed at management level, go down to project managers level, and they stop there. It should not be your problem. Okay, because this decision process must come from more senior people to decide. Then you just go and say, hey, charge to this account, you just charge. Okay. Now, what he says is correct. Have to worry about charging because it's nothing to do with this. So you look at this point, it is going to do with, we need to structure the way we discuss that. In terms of costing and all this charging, it should go back to the program level and project level and unit level, because not going down to engineer level. Because you cannot control. So if you cannot control, it's not your problem. Because I cannot control that. How can you be responsible for something you have no control? Okay? Okay. Now, this is an interesting one. KXR identity. What do we sell? Platform, AV, kit module. Very people know us. I think this question was raised. I think some of you might not be aware. I just got the email from when we do the ITS. It's a very high profile. Actually, a lot of people know us. So you need to know that it's not every day we go and promote what we do. It doesn't work like that. What are you going to show every day? Cannot. It doesn't improve overnight. It takes time. So for us, whether we want to do as a KXR identity, this is not useful for you because the organ will evolve over time. Now we do KXR. Now imagine this is a KXR. Now I want to add reliability together. I want to add other things together. Then what are we going to call? So it doesn't work like that, because as it evolves, we have to change, because you are moving to a different tier. At this level, yes, but at the next tier it changes, and the next tier it changes. So it's part of growing up that you must grow out of your boundary to expand. It's just that when you expand, you must grow out the boundary. There is no choice, unless you don't grow up. Okay, positive impact to the world. I don't know what it means. Are we going to save the world? I don't know how to answer it. Okay. Will there be a KXR AV by 2020? This part, as a KXR, if in the discussion with the IEH, we will have it still the same. But you must remember, KXR has to grow. If it remains by itself, it cannot grow. For example, I need reliability analysis on the bus. How many of you got this background? I think very few. So, but then if I bring to the IEH, they have that capability. So, are you going to say in IEH or no IEH? Are you going to say it's okay KXR or not? So, when we keep growing, we need to have new partners and relationships. So the organization will evolve one. Okay, next one. Okay. This part is related to capability and mixed traffic. Yes, I think this part, you see just now when I addressed, there are lack of capability, which is correct when you go level 4. But it doesn't mean we don't know the problem. If you haven't done it before, then you don't know. Think about it. 2 years ago, we haven't done it. We got a PowerPoint in it. Just a PowerPoint. But now, 2 years down the road, you see the vehicle running in Sentosa and Jurong Island. You already know more than 2 years ago. So the questions, you have to be very critical to yourself that yes, we don't know when we first start. Now we know a bit more. So we can address the question how to solve this problem. And not all the problems we can solve, because some of them are very deep capability which we might not have. For example, there were some guys discussing with me about the camera for flickering. Because when you talk about the camera for the flicker, our LED light in the there, it's actually pulse width modulation one. So when it's pulse width modulation, it depends on the camera how fast. But then when I talk about higher speed camera, then the problem comes is nobody has the high speed camera. Then you say, I must get from Sony. Then the question comes, you say, oh, Sony don't have. I heard that you must use PX2, don't know what. Then I say, oh, then how to solve? So you have components which I can address, but you cannot integrate into your system. So you see, some of these questions is good, but we don't have the right solution now. And there's no point we race to go and chase after this solution. Is very expensive. Okay, so sometimes some of the problem we live with it first, we monitor while we do what we can. Those we know that going ahead is too much work already, and we hold back. And there's no point you say die also do, right? So that's why if you look at technology by itself, yes, you will say it's very good, but unfortunately there's a cost involved. And then when you do it, it has implication to other groups. So we cannot just do it as one side, one guy say, I want to keep doing it, and then the other people are not ready. So how are you going to solve this problem? It must be done at the team level, not at the individual level. But it's good to raise this so that we can address this discussion. Okay, next one, we need to have defined functionality, require a different level, autonomy, correct, level autonomy, blah, 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 correct. Now, this question, if I put 2 years ago this pigeonhole, I think nobody can ask that question. Because you haven't done it. Now, after you do it, you can ask this question, which is the correct question. But this has to be addressed as a team. This is why today I organize this, to tell you all that actually some of this problem, we have to do it together. It's not a question of one person do. It becomes complex because it's interdependency now. Okay, so we have to organize to work as a team, not go organize as individual. Because some of the solution is not within you, it's in other group. So be mindful that it will become team building type of, you have to approach it as a team. Waymo, I think I answered that, yeah. Okay. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay. Without juggling, clear business direction. We will have to split into two parts. One is the business part, and we have to follow that project deadline. Then we will always have spare capacity in between. Every project, there is no such thing is full loading all the while. Because we have to queue, we have to wait for Citran, we got to wait for components, we got to wait. In every project, there is always cycle. If you say there's no cycle, means you haven't done a project before in your life. Every project is like that one. I never come across projects with swift plan. Unless you make a way tree, not just run production, no need to change the recipe. So when we do that, we always have peak and trough. So one of the things I would like to do is also some of the areas of limitation we have, there are challenges. Yes, we got, they say the flickering light problem. I said yes, but to solve this problem, I need to buy some parts. I said, never mind. We have a list of projects, we buy the parts. But your priority of your time is to do the project. But when there is a downtime, you move to here. So you have to switch. One is bread and butter business, the other one is technology development. To have everybody on technology development also cannot, because you don't have revenue, I cannot justify. If I put everything on revenue, I got no new things to do. I got no new technology. So there is a constant struggle between these two, and it is normal. Okay? Unless you stay in the university and you do this, all your life you do this. Okay? But over here, if you do just purely on project, you also have another problem. Because when there are new things coming on the table, you cannot cope up. Because there will be a competition in external world. So you can't solve it in one step. You need to consider two. So the list of technology development, where it is related to R&D, not development alone, you need this part. And that's where we have development. But now, some of you raised, I think it's agreeable that we have to address all this. But we cannot address on every problem to solve by pure technology. As I said, some of this deployment is mixed with other things required, which goes beyond technical. So we need to balance the two. So for some of you which are involved in project partner, I will organize this. For those which are technical, I will also ask you all, if you are interested, join the team, also to learn. Not to do the work, but it's to learn. So we should learn how to cross. Next one. It seems that we are doing R&D and trying to sell. Which is correct? You see, if you sell what we are not ready, let's say our 7-meter bus now, of the current Yinglo, 2 buses. You want to make another one and sell? You hold you, correct? But that's why I sell the Navia first. Because the Navia will sell, then I learn from how Navia does it to develop ours, correct? So it's actually done like that. Kill the project and go to others. Others you do, is too late. I can tell you, DSA told me they're doing others already. They're way ahead of us. And a lot of companies, you go and see on the internet, others, Texas Instruments have IC chip just for others. So to do that, you need to look at what currently other people are doing. Others I know is good, because the fundamental of AV actually starts from others. Is it here? I check. Yeah. What is our emphasis for AV Keep? Who's leading it? Okay. For this, is we are looking at overseas market. Exactly what I explained for Navia. If you look at it, it tends to be very Navia. Okay, I'm not asking to load you all on problems which are 7-meter. So I decouple the two discussions. Say, for the AV kit development, you say who is leading it? Technically speaking, it will come under me. And what I'm doing is actually I'm discussing with Naikwan, Kim Chun, and Dr. Pei. Because this part have to start at that level. Because it's not a question of I just develop, but can you sell or not? You develop at the price I cannot sell, I say don't develop. Because no point. I develop, but it cost me $1 million. I have to find customers who's willing to pay $1 million. So how are you going to sell? So you have a chicken egg problem one. This is always a constant struggle. Okay? To sell an item without defining price is wishful thinking. That's why I told you, you look at the 5 parameters, price is the last one. It has to be addressed. So when you design things, cannot be there, you don't consider price. Of course, you will say that I'm an engineer, I develop things, price is not my consideration. So, but when you come and see me, I look at it and say, what's your price? And if you cannot put the price on the hardware, and then you say, oh, we can custom design, and FPGA, one spin to make an IC, 500,000 one time. You change modification, another 500,000. Can you afford? You can't. Okay, so that's why I say not so simple as ask the question, but you must together find solution to the problem. But it's good you ask, because you ask as a person in charge, I have to give you an answer. Okay, so the answer I give, I try to balance it with technical and commercial. So when are we going to develop? Right time. Who's going to lead? Right time. So after the MODV has finished, now the timing is just nice to start the version 2 discussion together with the AV12 team. So the AV12 team just focus on AV12 still because it's ongoing. But I have to start discussing version 2 already. Okay, so will come. This will come. Who will be leading it? This one, I'm in conversation with Naikwan to find people also to grow the team. We will also add people who are new because it's also to learn. It's actually a team building. We have to build a new team together with existing team so that there is a transfer of knowledge as well as to expand the team. What is it? Blah blah blah. Yes. Effort, road sweeper, yes. Okay, correct. We're drawing experience from there. One common kit to develop for develop. In fact, this is what we're trying to do. Today, if you look inside there, what we are doing, we have 2 teams. One is a mini bus and a 12-meter bus. So with the experience, we have 2 platforms. I have to start conversion. Because there is a duplicate of resource now. In the beginning, when we got nothing, yes, we 2 separate teams. Now, we have the team on both sides learning already. It's time to converge. Because as you come to grow, the capacity shoots up. You cannot have so many people in so many teams. You just cannot sustain. I will show you why it's like that. I think it's naive to be the same reporter, blah blah blah. Okay. Okay, this got to do with product architecture. When you want to reuse certain parts, you have to design for reuse. And certain parts, you have customization. I run through that, but I will share with you what Toyota does, which I learned a long way. It's addressing this problem. But you must remember, this kind of question, if I tell you the Toyota 2 years ago, you won't understand. Now, when you ask this question, when I show you Toyota, then you will understand. So it's not a question of you don't know. It's a question of the right timing. When those questions come, I'm very happy you ask. Because when you ask the question, it means you've been thinking about it. And when you're thinking about it, when I try to share with you some of this information, you will learn. But if I tell you at the time when you haven't even seen it, you will just come in and go out the other side. No point. It's waste of time, waste of my time. So we take it step by step. Okay? Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay. Servant computer. I like this one. Yeah. You see, right now we start as a project. Cannot scale. Yes. So you need standardization. you need standardization of hardware, standardization of software even. Now, if you imagine one group of guys doing this don't talk to the other group. I say, hey, we must standardize. This group will say, standardize to mine. The other group will say, standardize to mine. How are you going to standardize, you tell me? You all agree standardize, but you all don't agree to talk. So standardize what? So do I put the whole thing as one, as called standardization? I take your input, and then I put science not like that. Standardization, you discuss commonality, not a summation of ideas within two groups. That would be the most stupid thing. As a person in charge who don't want to get into conflict within these two quarreling, I will take the easiest, take this one and then put in one big basket and shake. Standardization, I tell you, the guy who did it is stupid. If you want to do standardization, I have to get involved and mitigate. Say, this one, no, we use this. And this one, use this. Then I have to come and mitigate. It's okay, because by doing that, I have to justify to you, why take his, not yours, and take yours, not his. But then you must be prepared to accept them. But if your ego is too big, arrogance is too big, you can't discuss standardization. And you have to be humble enough to learn from other people. Even learning from engineers who are younger than you. So you discuss about this, I'm very happy, because it opens up this type of topic. Because it's coming together how to do harmonization. Yeah, I will share with you why it's like that. Person Navia. How scared are we? Can we learn from Navia? No need to address, I already told you all. Learn from Navia. Because it costs you nothing. If they got problem, you just call Don. Then Don will speak on Navia. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, there will be a leadership, clear direction. Yes, this is ongoing. We are, in fact, Eric is discussing with me about the concept, about how to frame this, and then it goes into how to organize. It's just started. So, you see, we are so busy. Eric is only one person. So, as a CFC go ahead, some of you will be drawn into it. Okay? So, this is where we have to get the experience you all have to go inside the CFC. Eric cannot do it alone. He never do, autonomous bus himself. So, of course, he tries his best to get information, but I need you all to also come in. So, this is where the team integration has to start. How many wiring mentioned? Correct? Yes? You need simulation, I'm very sure. Okay. So, simulation is needed is because you cannot keep testing forever. Are you aware? Crash, car crash test. In the old days, they keep crashing cars, Then after that, but today, a lot of car crash tests can be used finite element for simulation. That's how you can accelerate the development. But then you must remember, those are people who have millions and millions and millions of cars to make. So of course, they can afford simulation. Ours, we got how many buses? So our range is very different from them. They have money to burn. We don't have so big money to burn. Go back, Singapore is a small country. We have only 5 million people. Really how much money we can afford and how many people we can have. So in a way, we have to be very frugal in the way we do investment for simulation, even for testing. It has to be done, but we have to be very clever how to do it. It's not that we will do everything or we do nothing. No, it will take a step approach. Because even I give you the tool, you also take some time to master it. So don't assume that I throw you the tool, you can master it tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. Okay, efficient, make a mistake, yes. I don't know this question. This is for birth control, is it? So, sorry, I can't answer that. Okay, I don't know to I think you pose a wrong model. Okay. Jimmy, yours Okay, test plan is important. That's why when I first came in as a consultant, I asked, hey, do we have a test plan or not? So people are also asking the same question. So if you don't have a test plan, why you have a test plan? You have a concept, I want to do this. So I make a test plan to check on this. So when I test, it is according to this test requirement. If it pass, I learn. If it fail, I iterate. But if you don't have a test plan, it's just like you walk in, suka, okay, today we do this, tomorrow we do this. Then that is not called test plan. That is called trial and error. So you go on site without a plan, you don't know where you're going. So people tell me, the project we do cannot plan, very difficult. I tell you, it's possible. Why? You ask the same guy, when he go on holiday with his family, do you plan or you just suka go there and just suka go? Cannot, you can plan one. And this is the part in technical, it's even easier to plan. Technical guys cannot come and tell me they cannot plan. If they cannot plan, they cannot do their work today. Technically they can plan, but it's a question of choice. Do they want to plan or not? Okay? Important because it is a sign of your maturity in thinking. Okay? So, do we have clear requirement, blah, blah, blah? Answer is yes and no. Yes, there is some requirement, but it has to be better. But it doesn't mean there is no plan. There is no spec. Yes, there is a spec. But the problem is that this spec, maybe the guy is doing alone, but he doesn't share the spec with the next team. So it becomes like product spec. You can over-spec or under-spec. There is no clear answer. All these questions we put is because now, today, after 2 years, we are more experienced. If 2 years ago I asked you, this question I think will not come out. So, to be fair, the team will evolve to ask those questions. It's correct. So, blah, blah, blah. Okay, instead of art, we plan a separate track, try new sensor. Yes, because as I said, we need 2 plans. One of them is a business plan to do that, and we have a separate track for development to try out new sensor, new camera. Like Albert, he's talking to me, new camera. That's also development. But maybe some of you are not aware. I wasn't aware he's doing that. But if he makes this thing visible, we have a catalog of things we are actually trying. Some of you, I'm sure, are trying things which I'm not even aware. But if you are not aware, I'm not sure the rest of the guys. So if I have a list of things that we are trying this, and then in between project, you are, nothing to do. Say, hey, Naikwan, I want to learn this. Can I work this team? You go and see him. By all means, the guy won't throw you out. So then, that's how we learn. But you choose to sit down in your computer and look at the computer. Don't expect you will learn something. Because I do not know, are you overloaded or underloaded? Are you free? There are also, I've seen across, people go to job because their project is delayed. They go to work every day. This is not in ST, I haven't seen it there. They go to work, but the project there's a delay. But he cannot sit down in his desk and do nothing, correct? He must move mouse somewhere, correct? So he fill up work with his time. But that's not efficient. He should come down and say, boss, I'm free already next week. I want to participate in something. They say, okay, you join this group and learn. Because that's how you learn. You don't expect also your bosses on top to keep track of you. Hey, when you're free, next week you're free. Then you will say, micromanaging. So how you solve this question? You have to proactively ask. It's better the boss don't ask. It's better you ask. Now, then you have to ask yourself, why you didn't take a proactive say, put ahead. Next 2 weeks, actually I'm free. Like what? I'm bored. If you won't give me next week 2 jobs, I'm going to resign. You tell him, I think he will jump very fast to help you.
Frankly speaking, some of the questions I pose to your boss, who are free? All your bosses tell me not free. If you all dare to tell me personally to say you are free, actually I'm going to rope you all to do something new.
There are a lot of things to do. So,
but your boss come and tell me no free,
Never mind, but I think we have to improve. Don't worry about that. And then you see, conflicting SEMA, don't rush a project. This is hypothetical, to tell you why. Because we do have a lot of requirements. Some management are still project-based mindset to their product. We need vision, commit, resource. before, there are two parts. One is a project we commit, and then the other one is the R&D development. That's why you see I go down to level 3.5. The level 4 is an R&D track to LTA because they fund us for development. They give us time. Even the CFC, actually they're giving us time, you know. So now, the part is, which part we are very, they will come back and tell me when you can have it ready. So you need to also be sure about what we can do, and certain things risky, you better highlight. This got to do with our process, how we do it. I will, since you all asked this question, there are a few things I will share with you. Okay, I'll try to answer a few. Expect outcome discussion, you sweep under carpet. I don't think I'm that sort of person. I'll sweep under carpet, I will confront, straight head on. But it can be very useful for you to understand that when we disagree on the topic. I'm not disagree with you personally as a person. There is a problem in Singapore. This got to do with, I call it Chinaman mentality. I disagree with you, the guy take it very personal. I've seen it many times. No face. Nothing to do with that. I disagree with you. Tomorrow we change job. What's the difference? You have the same problem. So there are a lot of people in Singapore who actually take things very personal. When you disagree, he gets agitated. He got no face. Guys like that will never grow. Because they don't confront their fear. Because they are afraid to admit they don't know. It's okay. I always say, you don't know. You say, don't know. It's okay, no problem. But it's then we don't know, then we can discuss how to improve. But the worst thing is not to disagree. You always carry on agreeing, but actually you're going into a track, cannot come out. So this got to do with maturity of people. So that's why I say, don't worry. It's okay to disagree, one. Now, important system thinking. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. AV roadmap, I've shown you some, but it's not complete. The AV roadmap is a big picture only. We all draw a few lines only. Sorry, it has to go a bit more detailed. But I need you all to participate also in there. It's very easy for me to draw a line. But those lines has a lot of implication downwards. So when we discuss the CFC, we cannot go into so detailed in the beginning because you're all busy, everybody's so busy, so we start. So from this month onwards, some of you go on leave, but I try to start to fill in all the gaps because we got time before the CFC is awarded to us. You better prepare. We better prepare. So we improve our software engineering capability as a team. Remind you, it goes beyond software already. Okay, it's not about just pure software. It becomes a system level because we need reliability engineering, we need sensor hardware technique, we need basically reliability issues, performance issues to come into play. So you need to go beyond just pure software. But you have to work as a team because otherwise it won't work. Software work, hardware don't work, then system don't work still. What's the difference? Okay. So road sweeper, how to do that? Okay. No, because yes, we will only have some verticals will be reporting to me. There are some discussion to put the PSA, what is it? Is it PSA? Seaport, airport. Because technically, the technology is very similar, There's no very differentiation. You have localization, camera, LiDAR. So technology actually is the same. So the worst thing, they go and build another team, then we duplicate. So some of this technology is a dual use. So as we expand the team, my wish is that the team here expand, some of them go to other areas. Because it will be the same vertical. Because the technology-wise is quite similar. Application is different only. Okay, sufficiency. Now, provide more chairs. Or I have a solution. Work to shift. Okay, no, just joke. Okay, don't worry. After that, they always. Okay, large compound to make AV. Yes, actually, it's in my mind that you see, we never use our own internal track as a test bed. So when I talk to Chin Hui, we put sensor on Sentosa. It's so damn difficult. I said no problem. I go and talk to Dr. Lee. We put sensor at our butt. Solved. Yes.
I have some comments from some of our Chimbi colleagues. Why don't we have a ferry service between Chimbi and JBL? Because you only do one direction. So because a lot of us actually we transit between Chimbi and JBL very often. So you get me? I mean, it's a opportunity for data.
But our traffic here is also not so straightforward.
Maybe.
In within JBL, yes. Outside, no. You see why I say that? If I put it into JB and here, I'm doing it as what you say is correct for that. But there's a risk outside I get accident. Okay, if I get an accident, we all going already, right? So I say do in JBL is easier. It's close. I don't need permission from anybody. I put outside. If accident, the first thing Vincent Chong will come out. Oh no, say hey, this one blah blah blah. My help. Okay.
Yeah, but for this comment, right, I suspect these are the newly joined us one of the team. If you all can recall, right, when Navia come in on board, my first deployment is Navia go out and ferry people at the time. If you all recall, put the vehicle on the test, get feedback, and then improve on our approach before we go even to Sentosa. We did that for a few months. Then after that, I request even our MODV to start ferrying people in our own compound. But time don't permit because you all need to rush into Sentosa. So there are a lot of plans. Actually, we want our internal to be used. There are a lot of use cases out here. So I think it's about timing.
Yeah. It's okay. You see, it's good you ask. You see, for the young ones to ask, the older ones here also will say, I should be doing it, but you need to. It's okay.
So the senior should actually give some inputs to your junior so that they know the history also.
Yeah. That's how you learn. So are we stop take? Yes, I think we do need improvement. Strobo, like you asked, Strobo KXR is a unit, Strobo is a brand. Okay. Do we have a session technically? Okay. Hey, this one very easy to solve lah.
Coming.
Okay. Technical session. Okay, say. Common purpose, meaningful, yes. But this question is more related to what's our vision and what's our direction, as I explained. Okay, to bring investment for that, deep learning, okay. Deep learning by itself is a technology. For us, we are doing as a product. Because one is a deep learning vertical within itself, but it's a tool. But the tool must put into a platform, then the value goes up. You say that, yes, I can do surgery. Yes. You do surgery on a dead pig, is low value. You do surgery on the human is very high. So it's not about the surgery. It's about what you're going to use it for. Blah, blah, blah. AV12, yeah. AV12, you see, when we first started on the CFC, AV12 was having so many issues. So when they have so many issues, would I dare to put AV12? I tell you the answer is no. But then if I say no, then what other buses I have? I cannot put Navia. So you go through a process of elimination. AV12 not, Navia no, then only 7. So that's why you look at the CFC, 10 7-meter bus, correct? Yeah. Now, then when I put 7-meter bus, there were questions, why you don't ferry 12-meter bus? Because 12-meter can carry more people, correct? So that question was asked to me. So I quickly offer another answer. 12-meter bus is for intercity. 7-meter bus is for inner city. So, believable, sorry. Is what I call logicalization. I make a decision logical. So I put arguments to logicalize is a 7-meter bus. So I give them example. A 12-meter bus going around 90 degrees corner is more troublesome than a 7-meter, is shorter. It's common sense. So when I explain to people, let's say in LTA, they agree going around corner. I say, your road not designed for 12-meter, must go down like that. So I said 7-meter is more suitable, unless you design your road suitable for 12-meter. And you know they cannot change the road.
And in fact, AV12, right, you understand, right, is funded by LTA. For sure, they want it to be deployed. Yes. It cannot be they spend the money and the thing never deployed. Yeah. Okay? It's about, for us as a business, when can we deploy? It's about the timing issue. Okay, so there is a line. It's just that we have to hit on the right spot.
It's a timing issue.
Yeah.
You just imagine if 12-meter not ready, we can compete with have even more resource. Okay. Okay, plan for now, project end is not, when it end we will have the plan for that already. So we have still 1 year, but we should accelerate. Okay, so now we have the experience on the 7-meter requirement. We should put it into the 12 as well as the 12 going back to the second version. BYD plan is actually in the expansion plan. When we go to Japan, we will actually use BYD. And we will start to go into BYDs because we are working with an established company which has a proper system. The Yinglong we have is a prototype bus, what I understand. So when the prototype, they're going to keep improving. So we are stuck. If the platform is not stable, we have a problem. So when we first start, we didn't know what to look for. We can ask this question is after you have done it. But if you haven't done it, I put Yinglong, BYD all look the same to you, then the only decision will be which one is cheaper. No, at that time, there will be the time of discussion. So to ask that question is correct. But that question, we could not answer in the early days because BYD don't give a shit to us. The early days. Now they want already different. So it's just part of growing up. Okay. See, pipeline, we have time to solve this. This part is a team. It's not that you throw the question, somebody got to address. Because it must be a team approach. Because some of the bugs you have is all interrelated. It's not just one person. I wish it's so easy, one person solve one thing, then you put it together, it all works. A system is not like that. Because they're all interconnected.
I'm not too sure the question trying to ask what. Are we saying that the person who developed the project has a bug, then we pass this bug to somebody to go and solve it?
Doesn't work like that.
Because from the statement, it's stated in this way. So I find it a bit weird.
Okay. For current project, blah, 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 on signal line, right junction, CFC. You see, this question comes, that's why we need roadside sensors. It's not by accident. Some of these things we are doing is not unexpected, but we can't address all of them because there are issues in some corners. Okay? Market ourselves better. This is okay. This part we have to do, public acceptance. Okay?
Ongoing.
Ongoing really.
So just for you all to share, HR already start putting all our information into LinkedIn for publicity already, to attract.
What kind of business project we do? I think you look at the business, I already addressed this. Okay. Then if you top 3 hanging fruits, I think it's just depending on, I told you, we look at the big picture for system level, not at component level. House rules, hey, please one, you all talk too loud. No, sorry, this one, okay. Wow, this one, hey, say, get quiet. Noise cancellation. I leave it to uni. I think it's just work environment area. I think it's okay if people address this, but the problem is that some of these are quite straightforward to resolve. It's a question of how to organize ourselves. Full time, this one I don't know. Hey, this one what? This one is what?
So all the safety related work.
we got safety problem or is?
No, because for other business unit, usually they have dedicated people focusing on this work. So for us, right, our engineer is covering double role. They have the ECA, so-called appointment doing this. So of course, to do this is depending on the size that we have lah. Because for us, right, with our business unit is one of the first to have our own personal workshop, our own personal lab.
Oh, because of that you need this
Yes, for
okay,
safety coverage.
Yeah.
Because
it's correct.
when else for other department is because they have big organization whereby they have a full function. They have a dedicated team focusing on that. Okay? So with that, I think we also have to manage. When we do a secondary role, we just do to the things that we need to do. The extra effort that they pose to us, right, then we have to defend it, to tell them, sorry, we don't have a full time to focus on certain things. Because for example, like security, they ask us to go and check all the cameras, review all the videos. Then I ask MSP, that side the security, hey, you think I full time do this job to do all the security scanning? Can't be right. Shouldn't this be the job that you take over? Example. So don't be afraid to ask the question.
It's okay.
Then, but this thing, if you got challenges, right, don't hide to yourself.
Bring it up.
Bring it up to me.
Yes.
I sort it out for you.
Yes.
Just like Yang
It's
Chen,
not your problem.
like WSHE, I advise him what to do. Security one, they come and ask me, then I advise him what to do. I will stand on your side, so don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Okay?
Yeah. Then the other one for viewing footages, you can convince Dr. Pei, hey, this one video. Computerized one, don't scan. It's called search. This is called search.
Just to add on Naquan's point, last time we used to be a small unit in ST engineering. Dynamic is a small unit. We also have a lot of CCA one, a lot of CCA because there's a lot of things that we need to join. As part of, let's say,
because it's a big system.
Yeah, we have big system to follow, but we have to be very selective on what we want to do. Then sometimes we just have to go and tell the organizer that we are very small unit in this. So we need not. We will ask for waiver.
So the thing is, I give you an example. If you're a hammer, every problem he sees is actually only a nail. So the guy will go down whack nail everywhere because he doesn't realize there's a differentiation. But he does his job. So you must remember he's doing his job. You have to give him arguments. He can talk to his boss to say waiver. But if you don't give him arguments, he can't. Okay, next one. Operating side. We are really housing it together. So that's why I think this is not. Because it's true that there will be some movement, there's some groups I think inside, is it?
No, I think this one, I'm not too sure, maybe I'm wrong, I just want to clarify. You are saying that Chen Tao's group in the AVMF with Dr. Tan is one location. Then my engineers that is on the other side,
then downstairs
another one location. Then downstairs another group, so we are three locations.
Like
Is that you're saying? But very speaking, if you're saying that, the KTM even worse. Got upstairs, third floor, got the second floor, got downstairs also. So I think if so long we are in one building, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't need to be, frankly speaking, we are not in a place whereby like Google, I come into the door, I see through everybody. Open concept. Remember when we start here, we want open concept, everybody say, okay, good. The moment we move in, we start to do, the partition. Then you all say, hey, no privacy, I don't want. So what exactly we all want? I'm open for you all, but key thing is we have to adapt the environment because we have mixture, senior and junior. So we need to learn how to live together. Okay, even got distant issue, right? We have to manage accordingly. So don't be so fixated about this part.
These are not major issues. I think the important part is you look forward. I always say, every morning you wake up, you must look forward to come to work. If you don't look forward to go, you're actually on the wrong job. Just telling you. Even at my age, I'm going to 66, I think next month or something like that.
Next month, birthday.
I look forward to come to work, working with your problems you all raise to me. I'm very happy to address. Because it is something where I think a person like myself, I try to help you all, to share what I know, because that's the best thing I can do for you all. And when you got problems, I will also address. I don't run away from problems. It is not part of my behavior. When I have problem, I confront one. I will try to resolve one. But if you don't raise the problem, how do I know how to help you? Okay. So before I end, I'd like to share with you another one where just now we discussed about the production method. Since I'm here, I just share with you how Toyota does. Yeah, I take out the 2 minute slides, but I summarize for you some of these. Sorry. Too big. I show you Toyota. You see, for Toyota, when we see this as Toyota car, this is a Toyota Corolla. They actually talk their product as all these individual components. This is copied from Toyota creation process. Toyota, you see, look at their goal, safety, economy, these parts, producibility. I went in the 80s to Toyota, I think it's a Nagoya factory. They open up, they show everything. At that time, Toyota was lean manufacturing. They were on the top in the 80s, they are number one, you know. So then they ask you how a new car is developed. Rider comfort, safety, emission, pricing, you see, price, continuous technique for production. Product development is actually this, not the car. Key components is called a product. Okay. Then below is production technique. Okay. Product development on the vertical and process. This is timeline. So the first start, they have to plan what are the things you do and what sort of process technology they need. Then they go to styling. Okay. So what you do, the Japanese does is that they standardize the key component so that you can have the same, the different models use the same part so that they can make different cars, different design very fast. That's why Japanese cars, you can have very easy to buy spare parts because they standardize. Or else every model you buy new. That's why the European don't do, but the Japanese does it very well. But that was bad. Today the Europeans also do the same thing. They learn from Japanese. So they do a product development, styling, they use a clay. At that time clay one. Then the design comes at this stage, design stage. But look at it, the design stage, the product development, and here they decide what component to do. Then after that, they go to test model production, testing, feedback. Then they move ahead to the next curve, which is actually here, production line preparation, mass production, and production. That's how they do it. So that's why the Japanese master this. I went to Japan in the 80s. We wanted to revamp the Philips factory. Then we asked ourselves, who can we learn from? Actually, we learned from the Japanese. It's actually from Toyota. The electronic people would open up to us, so we learned from the Japanese. Now, after that, when we came back, we go for this model. This is for factory. The goal is for direct shipment to the PSA port. So we don't plan to go to warehouse. 80% of the production, ideal, it didn't turn out to be like that. We ship directly to a container and then go out from the factory straight, container loading. But to do that, we have to restructure the whole factory. This part is I go for ideal, 0 inventory, 0 WIP, 0 fallout rate. Then this is called Central Planning Department. Go to COPIX. COPIX is a MRP system, manufacturing resource planning. So in there, we link in the old days to effects, to order, send effects to supplier to bring it in, and then bring down the production line. This auto insertion, this is PC board production, this is encasing. We have a line control, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, computer-aided logistics, integration of all this. This is ideal. The reality doesn't work like that. Okay. We have AGV also. 80s AGV. We were using the technique frog. I don't know how much you know. They do navigation is black and white tiles. It's called frog. It's from Holland. Then we also have automation modules plus people. This one came in. I scrapped the whole thing. It didn't work. So the promise of all these technology people all bluff one. Throw it out. They oversell. So we all gundu go and buy. Then after that, because I have to run it was because EDB fund us. Then minister is coming to the factory for open ceremony and then say, shit, I could do. So open ceremony, after they go off, they all scrap everything. Put in the warehouse. We have the same problem. Cannot go to leaf one. The same at that time, 80s, where got leaf control like now? There's a girl to press the button. So, you see Cardex, where now we are talking, I was doing Cardex or using Cardex. Just buy and use only, no rocket science. Okay. So, this part, production flow, materials flow, this was just in time. So, most of them work, but some of them didn't work. Paper. Then, we split it down into process. Just like you see, standardization, I tell you, is very important. This is a customized PC board. This is process. This is final. We make a finished product there. Bricks are what we call key modules. The Japanese use product design. So we use the word brick. Tuner, we want it to be the same. So that the tuner in the radio is standardized. So that every design use the same module. So you got economy of scale. Tape deck, you've never seen before. CD, I think you also don't see before. And this is a mechanism, this is a PC board. So these are the process required. Then over here, this one don't need, it goes to here. So final encasing, we go for 1% fallout rate, 12 code numbers, 20 parts, less than 10 people. And this is a PC board assembly to go in. So the part is interesting. What is the design rules we need? What is the application? These are components. This is resistors and capacitor. What sort of equipment, machine we do for this process? And these are customized. Then when you do this design rules, we have to do it so that we can have design rules so there's interchangeability between groups and across countries. So we call it design rules. So by doing that design rules, you can transfer production from one factory to the other factory. But this takes a very, very long time. So because of that, we basically harmonize, but this is a high volume production. Okay, in this our design, one line is about 1,200 sets. One line. We have 20 lines. And we think it's big. Then before I left, I went to China, they got 60 lines. We are very small. Okay. So you just imagine how much volume is. So this sort of thing, you go there, hey, I want this part, all the supplier will queue up behind you. We all go, we have 50. They all say, you wait. You see, we are in the different game. So the question you all ask, I understand, but this is for high volume production. That was in the 80s. Today, I think some of them, I think Philips is even bigger. They sold the factory already. So now, with this, just now you saw the concept of the factory. You go into process, then the organization to the supply chain. So it's the same discussion I had with Jimmy. What is the new organization I need for KXR? First, it must start from business, then process, then organization. Because each supports each other. You cannot, because at the time when I first joined, I have a number of people. So I was trying to figure out how to match people with business. It doesn't work like that. You must start from business down. So now, in this, I share with you, this is how I organized myself when I was in Philips. This is process, watch, process. And process has nothing to do with skill. It's got to do, not got to do with education or software, hardware, nothing to do with that. I organize it in this way. Auto insertion, soldering, this is a process. And this is workshop. And project runs metrics. These are project managers, they run like that. And then I use a Kaizen model. Kaizen model means new models, improvement, sustainable. By doing that, you have process owner. Okay, when I run this production, when the line stops, the red line goes on, my engineers run, don't walk one. They run. So that there's ownership one. When it's down, the whole production line stop, this guy will run the production line and sort you out one. So it's a Japanese concept. So I'm very used to it. And this part is, you have to run it like a clockwork. And you have to make your design rules very important. So that guys like you who do software, hardware, you have to go into that, or it won't work if you're going to scale. So even for us, when we scale, we need to get our process and system in place. This part I won't explain. I'll show you this. I started with this, where WIF means 3 days work progress. My job was to bring it down to automated factory. Cycle time means every 2 minutes, one product come out. Then I shift to there. Same building, you can see, same place. We reorganize to there. Then we organize to the automated part. The KPI is like that one. So I'm very used to run production automated factories before, but we built it, we didn't buy. Everything was built in-house. So what I'm trying to share with you, when you build up something new technology for the AV, you will go through the learning curve and you're going to learn a lot of things. But you shouldn't be scared. If you're going to be scared of having failure, then you will never learn. This part was a team building, it's not myself only. To end, I share with you, this is how a factory looks like. And you can see probably those are aunties now, those young girls. You don't need engineering. This is a PC board production. Different multiple boards go there, fully automated conveyor system. This is a soldering machine. And you see the red light, when it stops, you run, because the whole thing will jam up. This is an automated test system. Green color and blue color. This is not even DOS. You see the girls sitting on the PC board? The product moves along the line. This is 30 seconds cycle time. And this is the automatic test. There's the final test. So you can see when we test, we all got some type of just reboot. So what I share with you is, when you really go into full-scale production, into a product, there is a lot of process for us to build it up. Of course, what we do is not this type of high-volume production. Okay, our type of product is actually, don't know how many times more complex than this, you know. So don't get me wrong, I show you this because this is high volume production, you know. And if the type of product we make, you go for this, I think you need a huge factory because it is continuous production. But for us, we will take steps to build up the capability to go into smaller volume, and it will take time. But there is no shortcut. I'm telling you, there is no shortcut. Don't think that other people can do it better than us. As I said, you saw just now, people have spent $80 billion to build an AV car. Why is it not along the road? Because it's a very hard process. We will also take our time, and we will also develop capability. This is where opportunity for you all to learn and build up your capability. We do it as a team. That's the most important. Okay, I stop at this point so that if you got questions, or else Guys, any question? Come on. Cannot be no question one. See, there's a problem, see, in Singapore, all like that, how to ask? Hassan, ask what? You always ask one what? Now you very quiet.
Pigeonhole was enough.
Huh?
Pigeonhole was like it serves its purpose.
So it's purpose.
I mean, if you have the anonymity, more people ask questions. So most things are answered.
So I say, I think some of the questions you all asked, right, we may not have able to answer very clearly and sharply,
Yeah.
but because we are evolving. But key thing is, for example, you see those gaps, area that you think we are not doing well. For example, you all mentioned about the software processes, or which cycle you want to use RGs or not RGs, the AGs method or waterfall method. Frankly speaking, if let's say from the style level, you all know from the past we have a certain process, okay? But in the AV world, I give a mandate to drop every process. If I ask you all to follow through the military standard, do you think this ITS you can demonstrate, or even Sentosa you can demonstrate your bus? Ask this question. Second, we say Wemo, they also use a lot of new method.
Yeah.
Is the vehicle producing?
No.
So is it the method issue? Frankly speaking, if you look through really seriously in the software development process, right, all are similar. It's just they break up into a smaller chunk or make into a big cycle, V model or whatever model. The whole process is the same. Inside the whole cycle, right, is about safety, reliability, robustness. That's all.
The other thing is, you see, when you read people on the internet, you look at people, they do very well. In reality, we are not giving respect to ourselves. The first thing, even when I went to Philips, the first time when I went to Philips, I get the Europeans coming down and then work with us. I actually ask myself, am I stupid? Can I learn? Can I go faster than you? That's all. And when I went to Philips, I could also move very fast. It's because you have to ask with confidence. Because if you don't have your own self-confidence, don't expect other people to have confidence in you. So if you are not even confident yourself, you are actually not thinking you're able. Because you work with people who press you down, you should not do that. You must be bold, and you must exert. And even if you try, you fail, you won't be fault one. Because it's part of learning. Nobody knows the answer. Of course, before you move, then you validate, check with people, check with boss, say, boss, I'm going to try this. If he knows, he will tell you. If he doesn't know, it's okay, then you just try. Because you will learn something wrong with it.
If you don't believe, you can check with the Strobo team. What method they use? Also no method. Otherwise, the forklift or the whatever vehicle will never come out. If you don't believe, ask Emily. Okay, you can cross-check with those people who develop really robotic system. What method they use. Okay.
Don't look down upon yourself. You see, after we do everything, and internally, we all can be very chaotic. When I go and present what we do, everybody say good, correct? Behind, we all like pedal like pedal very fast, correct? It's actually like that. But it's just that when you see in public, everybody will tell you like that. So I will also tell like that, correct? I cannot tell them, hey, got this. I will say, hey, so we all very good. But underneath, we all pedal very fast. That's all.
But however, don't get me wrong, that I stop here, no. To say that we will still continue not to do it with a development process. So we already reached a stage whereby we are very able to come up some things. We already know through the whole process. Now is the time to streamline. So discuss with your supervisor what should be the way going forward. Because at the end, if I mandate the approach to go, I may be hindering you from moving forward. We need to have everybody buy in.
Yeah, synchronization.
Okay, everybody buy in to believe in the process that we want to develop going forward. And at the end, it's still also slow and steady, and then reach the end point. It's no point for us to rush and then we come to end point, we got a lot of legacy issue to resolve. We need to build a strong foundation.
It's just like some of the question, the ghost will come and haunt you. Exactly that thing. So in a way, going forward, we have to learn how to up our scale, be a bit more professional, and you are working in an environment which is actually the state of the art. State of the art means at the point, sometimes you have no answer one. Because it's at the threshold already, because nobody can give you the answer. So don't worry about having no answer, because you are at this point. But if you have been doing it for the past 10 years, you sure got answer one. So in a way, we are at the cutting edge of technology. So we have to accept that. Any other question, guys? No? Yes? Okay. Then I stop at this point. Then we see each other at the dinner.
Makan session, right?
There's a makan session.
Barbecue, I think. BBQ.
Okay, guys. Thank you.